from Build an Aquarium Workshop coming right back at you. All right, just want to thank the subscriber and person who had commented on the last video I did, which was this 14-gallon community aquarium. I really appreciate that, and that's what this is all about, is back and forth comments and helpful tips and things like that. Having a participation is great. So, okay. So today, what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about, clownfish. So, interesting. We're going to look at the reef tank today, the 40-gallon and our 14-gallon as well, which is the same as that 14-gallon rimless. We have it over there with a clownfish of its own, and you've probably seen them in old videos a couple years ago. I've had them for quite some time. That is the Percula clown, and the Nemo, and we also have a tomato clown in this aquarium. So if you saw in the intro footage, you're like, oh, I see clownfish. Yes. Now, back in the day, and in fact, this was a great book. It was from 1994, and it's called Anemone Fishes and Their Hosts, the Anemones. Now, everything's on the internet now. I realize that, of course. It's been like that. But books and magazines were one of the best places to look for stuff, and you could go, hey, I want to know about anemones and clownfish. And specifically, the question used to get a lot, especially I found a receipt in this book. It was from 1997, so that's when I bought this book, and I was working for a store back then on the East Coast, which is long gone. But people would constantly come up and ask me in the fish section, I've got a clownfish, and I want to know what anemone can I buy for it, because they realized a lot of people would make the mistake back then. They would buy the condylactus anemone. Okay, it was really inexpensive anemone. It was from the Atlantic Ocean, not the Pacific like the clownfish. So clownfish didn't want anything to do with them. They wouldn't go in them, and play with them like you saw in, if you've ever seen the Disney Finding Nemo. So okay, well anyway, like that, right? There's a good picture of clownfish playing in the anemone. All right. But, so, people are like, hey, what can I get for my clown? So what type of clown, right? This book then came out because it was the very need. There was a need for that. There was a lot of people wanting that. Okay, so today, are we going to talk about the anemones, like whether it's a bubble anemone or if it's a sea bay anemone? We're not, actually. We're not going to talk about anemones because this goes out to all you reefers. Maybe you're just getting into the hobby and you want saltwater. Maybe you want just the clownfish and the anemone. But if you're, what I find is another thing is nowadays is that we have tons of reefers and people getting into the reef hobby. They're always wanting corals. The reef tank, but then they want to put an anemone in there. Now that does work out for people. I've heard a lot of people go, oh, I have an anemone, I don't have any problems. But for those of us who know that anemones, sometimes when they're not happy especially, they start moving around. Maybe they want more light, more flow. They're just not getting enough food where they're at. And then what happens is they move around, they come in contact with another coral. Now that's not to say that corals don't, as they grow, you can see in this aquarium, they contact each other and they constant chemical warfare going on between them, right? You'll see them shrink up for a little bit or shrink back from the other. That's the way it works in a reef tank, And so you try to give them their space. You try to put them where the right amount of flow is and the right amount of light is and things like that. So you see a lot of reef tanks with, the corals at different levels and different placement in the aquarium. Well, so the anemones, let's say you don't want an anemone because you're like, yeah, I don't want one that, might move around and come in contact with my corals. Okay, well, I do have, the answer for you. Well, okay, so it's not a guarantee, but I'm going to show you 3 corals today that my 2 clownfish are using. And I don't want to say they're not anemones. 2 of them are not, for sure, they're not anemones, but the mushroom anemone is one of them, and that is related, as you just said. I just said it in the title, mushroom anemone. But a lot of people don't think of them as your typical anemones that we were talking about, like the bubble anemones and the condylactus, the sea bays, and so forth. It's a soft coral, and that a lot of people have in different colors, and they come in frilly, and they come with textures and stuff like that. And this clownfish, this is the tomato clown. So let's go ahead and zoom over there, and I'll still talk to you about it. And let's show you the 3 corals that are in this tank, okay, that both the tomato clown is using, and the Procula clown, which is in the other tank, was using. Now, the coral in here was in a different tank with that Procula, and he was using it quite regularly. But since they're separating him, obviously he doesn't have that association. And why do we want that? Is because it's not just a cool thing where we're like, oh, hey, it's really interesting to see, clownfish use or seek out some sort of biological protection, unlike, let's just say, like the damselless clown who, he loves the rock work. He goes and hides in the caves and stuff, when he feels the need. Also, that blenny that's in here, he constantly, there's a little hole in this rock with a green star polyp, that big rock with green star polyp. Hopefully I can capture him in that. He loves to hide in that hole when he feels the need to run and hide. So, it's just the idea for a lot of fish needing protection. But the clownfish is pretty unique in that the clownfish like to use anemones, but they'll also use corals. So let's take a look at that, okay? All right, here's our close-up of our clown. This is our tomato clown. And he is using this blue mushroom anemone. And if you saw in the intro, he likes to also utilize, so that's number one. And there's these reds as well. He loves this big cluster over here. And he's constantly in these red mushrooms. So that's coral number one. Coral number two that he likes to hide in is over here. And that is frog spawn, right? A lot of people have seen different clowns in frog spawn. And he loves to play in the frog spawn here, okay? But this tomato clown. So he's using the mushroom anemones and he's using the frog spawn. Okay. What's the third coral? Well, he's not using it, but the Procula clown, like I said, was using this big piece of Duncan coral, right? A lot of you have Duncan corals. They're really nice. I like to go in and out. So, and I don't think I have any footage of that. I really wish I did. So what we're talking about? We're talking about Nemo. Let's go take a quick look at Nemo. All right. Here is Nemo. We've had him for at least a couple of years. And he's in this little 14-gallon by himself. And yeah, as you can see, there is a Duncan coral, but it's also a frag off of that larger piece. So we have fragged it. It was all one big piece when he was using it. And you can see there isn't anything in here that he could really use, unfortunately. But, so, think, and again, this is not a guarantee that every type of clown, or even this particular clown, will use that coral. But this video was to give you an idea of the possibilities that are out there. All right, so those are the three corals that I have for you today. They're all soft corals, folks. And like I said, there's no guarantee they'll use them. It depends on, there's different clowns out there, right? It's not just the Procula. There's the, sea bay and clark eye, the tomato, the maroons, and, I don't know how many others. But there's quite a few clownfish out there. So these are just a recommendation of you might want to try. If you don't have these corals, especially if you're into soft corals, or even if you have hard and soft corals, then I would recommend those three corals to try in your reef tank. And you never know if you have a clownfish. I mean, they're nice corals to have anyway, but if you have clownfish, single or maybe a pair or multiples, definitely give those a shot and let me know how it works out for you. All right. Again, audience participation. Would love to hear from you. Any of you people who have clowns, thumbs up, right? Give us that thumbs up. Give us that like. If you have an anemone, even I love anemones. A lot of people do those tanks as well, where they're just maybe just inverts, maybe just an anemone and a clown, something like that. Again, thumbs up to you out there for keeping them, number one, but also for participating and letting us know what you think. And again, so feel free to subscribe to the channel. Let's help build the channel so I can do a lot more, useful videos like this, informative videos, but also videos where you just get to see fish and corals and things like that, right? All right, folks. Thanks for watching. And like I said, we're going to keep doing more videos. We will see you in that next video. Have a great day.